right, so welcome. Today is your last day before our test tomorrow in class. There's going to be no motion graphs on it. We already tested in motion graphs. Thank you for bearing with me, in-person people. There's going to be no motion graphs. We already tested on that. Fair question would be, what is the slope of position versus time graph? What is the slope of a velocity versus time graph give us? There's going to be two parts of your test tomorrow. One portion is going to be a 20-question multiple choice test that we call the concept test or the concept questions. That's the ideas of, like, if an object is moving at a constant velocity, what's the acceleration? What's the velocity of an object at max height? What's the acceleration of an object at max height? If an object is moving to the right, but accelerating to the left, is that object speeding up or slowing down? Things like that. Those are the concepts. It's a multiple choice portion. Then there's a calculation section. On the calculation section, I mentioned this at the beginning of the school year. I'm not going to let you use an iPad. I'm not going to let you use a phone for a calculator. You're going to have to use a calculator. I have some, I gotta find them, but I have some calculators that I can loan out to you on that day. But if you have one, bring one along so you can use a calculator. I decided that I'm going to give you, it will probably look very similar to this. I'm going to give you the 5 equations. I told you from the start that I was going to give you those. I've decided that I am going to give you a filled-in version of this, so I will give you something that looks like this to use on your test.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For the calculation portion, I think I counted there are 6 questions, and 2 of them have a part A and a part B, so it might be like, how high did it go, how long did it take to get to max height? Like, that'd be a part A and a B. There's 6 problems, but there's really like 8 things you need to answer. We got to keep moving during that test. The 20 multiple choice should go fairly quickly. The calculations are going to take a little bit longer, so just kind of pacing is going to be a good thing. That's what I meant to do. So today in class, I have 2 kind of built-in reviews that I want you to do. It's listed under the agenda, and there's 2 different things. So one of the thing is, bless you, is a practice quiz. So I have a practice quiz in Canvas. It's 6 calculations, and some scratch paper would probably be a good thing if you want some scratch paper here. Otherwise, on a piece of notebook paper is great. I've been able to have a fair amount of conversations with students. Like, they've gone through and they've hit submit, and then when they're done, they're like, oh man, square root of any number is plus or minus. I forgot that part. You know, so some of these I've gone through. And there's a thing on the bottom of each person's quiz that I can adjust the score and be like, hey, you and I talked. I'm okay with bumping that up a little bit. But it's a practice to learn assignment, so that's where it's going to go. Based upon how many points you earned, did you get it right, did you get it not right? I'm pretty sure this is set up so your numbers are going to be different than the person next to you's numbers, just so you know that. And if you take it a second time, they might not be the same numbers again either. But if you want to take it another time, that's fine, because the intent is practice to help you prepare for this. So that's one thing I'm going to ask you to do today. The other thing I'm going to ask you to do is, on the concept portion of the test, students tend to struggle probably the most on, or their scores tend to be not as good on the concepts as they are on the calculation portion. So I created this Socrative to kind of help with some of that. So I'm asking you to do this as part of your review in class today, is to log into Socrative. Here's my room name. I also wrote it on the board, T Davies 1D, for 1D motion. And you're going to enter your name, first and last then first, and you're going to go through and remember to take a screenshot of your score. If you forget to take a screenshot of the thing that doesn't have the score on it, and I can go through and I can dig in and I can find it. Again, this is meant to be practice, so if you want to take it more than once, it says twice, but if you want to take it more than twice, fine, it's practice. Just make sure that you submit a screenshot of your best score. This is a practice to learn again, but it's going to be like, when I go through and I enter these, if you got 80, it's kind of that 90, 80, 70, 60 kind of breakdown is what I'll enter for an A, B, C, and E. So that's the other thing, but this is going to be pretty close. I'm not saying it's the same. But this is gonna be pretty close to the concept portion of your test. And for each question, I think I have it set up for immediate feedback. Take some time to read what I typed. I typed it for a reason, that I'm like, well, here's the reason why this object is slowing down. Here's the reason why you can tell that this object's speeding up. Okay? So that's what you're gonna be working on. If you go through and submit that first 1D motion quiz, and you say, and you wanna talk through it, and you say, hey, I screwed this up and this is what I did, let me know, and I can pull up what you did, and I can see what you did, and you can show me what you did on paper, and I can be like, oh, I see what you did, and I can adjust that score slightly, or you have the option to redo it as well. So yeah, the intent of today is for you to get some time to kind of review some of this material in class, kind of hopefully gauge where you're going to be for tomorrow's test, and then we can move forward from there. So those are the activities I'm asking you to do. If you have questions, let me know.